Welcome back to my box van build. In this video, I need a shower. So one of the biggest advantages of buying a van that you can actually stand up in is you can have a shower. I mean, you don't have to have a shower in your van, but I thought that that would be like the ultimate convenience. From day one, that was the plan. And when I built my van, I kind of designed a space right here for the shower. And it's kind of weird that it's going to be right here behind the driver's seat, but my van is tiny. You can only put stuff where it can fit, and I designed it with a 24 by 24 area for the shower. It's not only going to be a shower, but it's also going to be where Kitty's litter box goes. I'm going to hang my bucket right here off the side of the kitchen cabinet because it'll be primarily used as a trash can. I have a little mirror, and I'll have like wall-mounted storage and stuff. And then I have a shower curtain that I'm gonna hang from a track on the ceiling that will wrap all the way around the shower area. I did have this crazy idea when I first was like designing the van to have a tank mounted to the roof, a small black plastic tank. I was actually looking at those small enclosed oil drain pans for cars, and I was going to basically have a solar shower that could also collect rainwater, and I had it all planned out where I could pump water into that tank on the roof and then have it gravity feed back down to shower with. And I'm probably not going to do that because now I have a water heater and there's really not any room on the roof for that. And it would just be kind of challenging to mount it to the roof at this point and make it all secure and stuff, but maybe future plan, we'll see. There's all kinds of things you can do for a convenient, easy shower. There's, again, with the roof mounted solar shower things, guys take big PVC pipes, glue caps on the end of them, mount them to their rigs, and then paint them black so they get hot in the sun. And you can pump water into them. I've seen where guys pressurize them with an air compressor, which is pretty neat. There's just solar camping showers that you hang from a tree branch or something. I have one, I've never used it, and I'm bringing it with me because maybe someday I will. And there's shower tents, another pretty good solution. The problem is you gotta wear sandals or something, otherwise you're creating mud when you do that. And yeah, you can just go to a gym or a truck stop and shower there. But to me, that would be a hassle and not a pleasant experience at all. So I just want to shower in my own van and have all the privacy and comfort of doing that. Now, I only have a 20-gallon water tank, so I can't take big, long showers. And I'm only going to be washing my hair like once a week because I have long hair. And no, I'm not getting a haircut. I'm going to make as much use of this little space as possible. It's going to be full all the time. And to use the shower, I'll simply just have to move the litter box and the bucket out of the way, pull the curtain, use the shower. Okay, here's everything that I have for my shower. It's all pretty basic. So here's my gray tank. It's 15 gallons. It's the same brand as my freshwater tank. The reason I bought this is because it'll fit under the van between the frame rail and the side of the box and be tucked in for the most part. I needed it to be like 1 inch shorter this way to clear the fuel fill for the gas tank, but I'm gonna make it work regardless. It's 15 gallons, has a little sump right here. I'll have a little drain that comes out. It's just gonna be a standard garden hose sized drain, and I bought a special hose for it that'll be separate from the hose that I fill my drinking water with. And then I'll fill it from the top, probably this larger opening. This is that plastic wall. I think I might have to buy some more, but basically this is the surround for the shower. It's gonna be completely waterproof and cleanable. This stuff for a 4x8 sheet was about 20 bucks at Menards. This is my shower pan. It's a 24 by 24. It's plastic. It's the second one that I've bought. In the description for it, it showed that it had one finished edge with like a threshold, like a entry, and it came like this. So I'm gonna have to build like some sort of little wall with a cap on it. So it's not the end of the world. These things are kind of expensive, and 24 by 24 happens to not be a very common size. I'm not sure why. Most of them are like 30 by 30 or 24 by 30 or 36. They're all bigger. This is basically the smallest shower pan you can get, and it's made for an RV. It says right on it, for use in recreational vehicles. Just by putting this in the van and driving around with it, this foam on the bottom is annoyingly squeaky. So when I do actually install this, I'm gonna at least put some carpet tape under the foam to just keep it from having any vibration or movement. Now for the drain, I got one that has a 1-inch barbed hose fitting that goes straight off the side. I'm going to try to figure out a way to install it without having to cut a hole like this big in the floor. I'd like to run the hose over to basically underneath the kitchen counter, just drill a hole for both the sink and the shower drain under that. But the van is, I'm 5'9", and the van is like 6'2" overall, floor to ceiling. So if I can build this up enough to clear this drain and not hit my head on the ceiling, basically, that's what I'll do. Otherwise, I will have to cut a hole in the floor of the van for the drain. I went and bought 5 feet of 1-inch braided vinyl tubing. You can get different kinds of this. There's like spa tubing, which is like a white one, but it's a little stiffer and it costs $1 more a foot than this. So this will be perfect and it should last me forever. For the shower faucet, I got the most basic RV shower faucet there is. It's 15 bucks. If you just Google or search on Amazon for shower RV faucet, this is what you get, basically. Now, because the shower faucet is designed this way, where the water hooks up in the back, I'm surface mounting it to the wall. I'm not cutting up my wall to dig it out for plumbing. At least I'm going to attempt to not have to. So I bought this. It's like a little, it's called an escutcheon. That's just a plumbing term, but it's basically a little trimmy-do that you mount your faucet to, and you can surface mount it to the wall. It's still gonna stick out further than I need it to. And it's like still kind of made where your plumbing would be in the wall. But what I'm thinking about doing, and this is kind of crazy and reckless, but I'd like to have just, it's gonna look not totally attractive, but I am gonna have my plumbing exposed on the shower wall. It's just gonna come out of the side of the kitchen cabinet, and I'm gonna have that vinyl tubing just strapped to the wall running up to the shower. And you know what? I pretty much designed my power system that way, where you see all the wires. So my plumbing, you're gonna see some of that. But what I might do is basically cut these a little bit so I can fit a 90 barbed fitting inside of this and have it still flush mount to the wall, and then drill holes in the bottom of this and have my tubing come up to it. That's the plan. We'll see how well it works. The other option is to cut out the wall and like carve channels in the foam for the tubing. But if there were to be a leak, I'd rather have it leak inside the shower. You know, kind of my thought on that. I bought an RV shower head kit. I took like 30 seconds to pick this one out. But it does have the pause button on the shower head. So you set your temp on your faucet, and to save water, you can just turn it on as you need it, spray down real quick, soap up, rinse off. That's it. I could probably shower in like 3 minutes without doing my hair. And I've been kind of practicing that actually for the last several months. And then for the shower curtain, I got a cloth shower curtain liner, just a regular white one. I thought about getting a fancy, cool design shower curtain, but it's never going to be closed unless I'm actually using the shower. I don't plan on having it closed all the time for aesthetics, because it's a multi-use little area. It's going to be part of my kitchen, because trash bucket right there. It's going to be kitty's litter box, all of that. So I just got a regular white curtain liner because it's water repellent. It'll work properly. If you buy just a regular shower curtain and you don't have a liner, your floor is going to get wet. I did apartment maintenance forever, and people would do that all the time and then say their floor gets wet when they shower. They don't have the proper type of shower curtain. This is the track that I bought. And this is a big maybe if it's even gonna work right. But basically, this is a flexible track that you mount to the ceiling. And you can make it any shape or angle that you want. And then you just hang your curtain from it. So that's kind of my plan. I was thinking about making an actual curtain rod out of like conduit or PVC or something. But then I just came across this and I'm gonna try it. That's pretty much about it. Now, I have one of these that I bought for irrigating my garden last year, but this is a garden hose inline water flow meter, and it tells you how many gallons you used at any point. And my crazy idea for this was to somehow get some reducers and stuff and run it in line with the shower head hose. So as I'm showering, I could see, okay, I've used like 3 gallons of water. Basically monitor how much water I use in the shower. But I've decided that's just like overkill, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna be mindful while I'm showering and try to just get it done as quick as possible. But I am gonna take this with me because this would be perfect for filling my water tank, because I don't have a water tank level monitor. I looked at several of them and they just seemed like really difficult to set up and get calibrated properly. But what I can do with this is run it in line with my garden hose that I fill my van with, along with the filter. And I have a pressure regulator too if I were to actually hook up to city water. But I can use this to see how much water I'm putting in my tank. So that's kind of the plan. I thought about measuring with this and then sharpening depth markers on the tank, because you can see the tank if you open the lower cabinet. But I mean, the way that you fill the tank is once water starts pouring out of the fill on the side of the van, then you know it's full. But this would be just a neat little gadget to have. Works pretty good actually. All right, so first I'm gonna figure out if raising this up is even an option. So I'll start by standing in it and then seeing I have like maybe 2 inches. All right, I'm pretty much gonna have to cut a hole in the floor no matter what, which would be a better option, especially if I ever have to sell this thing to somebody who's taller than me. Yeah, you can stand up in these, but they're not very tall. Like a regular RV, like a Class C or something, would have quite a bit more headroom. So with the drain installed, that's what I got. The entire hose and everything's gonna have to be below the floor, which is fine. I wasn't planning on cutting a big hole in the floor, but that's okay. Do what you gotta do. The thickness of the hose is significant as well. The problem with this is the plywood on the floor is 3/4. It's 3/4 marine grade plywood. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty significant hole that I gotta cut in this thing. You know, I'm just gonna go for it. I think what I'll do is I'll set the pan in here without the drain in it, Sharpie out where the hole is, cross my fingers and drill. And of course I gotta go underneath, make sure there's no floor supports in the way. I just need to kind of, I'm gonna drill from the top, but I gotta see if I can, if there's anything in the way. This is wide open. There is nothing going on here, so I said 13 in, which is there, and then 5 from there. So yeah, I can do all the cutting I want down here. I don't want to, but I can. Also, I'm looking at this. This is where the fuel fill is. This whole area is where my gray tank's gonna be. But they did not seal the edge of the plywood. Doesn't look like with anything here. It's actually, there's two layers of stuff going on here. So you have your actual plywood, which I'm pretty sure is 3/4, and then you have this extra bit underneath, which I'm not sure what material that is. It looks like plies of some kind, but you can see how it's 2 different layers. Which is good. I do intend on, like I said, I think in the last video, I do intend on undercoating all of this, or painting it, I should say, with tractor paint. I did most of the frame, like in the very first video I made about this van. And I will do the rest when I do the suspension, including the axle and everything else. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and drill a giant hole in the floor. Alright, so looking at this, I just made a tiny pilot hole just so I could see exactly where the center would be on this. And then I can look at this now and see, okay, how much space do I have for the hose? Because what I'm gonna have to do, because there is like pushing an inch of material here, you know, 3/4 ply plus this extra protective sheet. What I'm gonna have to do is drill a hole about this size and then jigsaw out a cutout for like probably about a 3-inch long cutout for the drain hose, so I can get it past the plywood. So I made this little hole so I can see, okay, can I make the hose go that direction? And yes, I can. I can't really go that way. There's just, I'll be running into stuff over there. I want it to go this way anyway, because I'm gonna have the fill for the gray tank that way. So, and for the hole saw, I'm gonna go ahead and use this guy, 3.5, which, looking at it, it's a little bigger than it really has to be, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of wiggle room. So after looking at it just now, I kind of wish I kind of angled it towards the side of the van. because there's a support that I need to go through right there. But I'm not going through it, I'm going under it. And I want to clear the gray tank. But by going under it, I'm inherently making a trap, which is a good thing and a bad thing, I think. You're supposed to have a trap to keep sewer gas out. But I think having a trap is also going to just be a stinky thing as well, because that nasty water sits in the trap. And I was just intending on, my plan was to just put a rubber flapper over the drain. Same with the kitchen sink, just have a plug in it all the time. Because it's not actually a sewer, it's just the gray tank, so the stink is just from that. So I think having an actual P-trap isn't the best idea, and you're driving around, so that stuff can slosh around, and I'm no expert, but that's my thinking about it. Alright, the lighting's terrible on this shot, but what I'm showing you here is with that floor support, I almost need to go back this way with it, really. Otherwise, there's just too much tension on this hose, and it's going to be pulling on this shoe and screwing up the seal on it. And my shower pan is just plastic, so it's not, you know, great. My other option would be to cut up this floor support, like cut a hole in the side of it. That would be the best thing for this drain installation, but it wouldn't be great for like the actual van itself. You know, I don't want to structurally screw with the van, because I am making a lowered floor portion right here to seal this opening up. I can just change my mind right now, have the drain go back this way towards like the frame. I think what I'll do right now is pull this hose off, go grab the gray tank, stick it up in here, and just look at it, see what I'm working with there, and see what I can do as far as the hose. Because I can come this way, I can go that way over the frame here, and then, well, there's the gas tank, so can't really do much over there either. So this is tricky. I'll figure it out though. The easiest thing would be to just hack that floor support, but I really don't want to do that. I would have to re-brace it with something else, which I guess ain't the end of the world. What I could do is notch it for the hose and then weld some steel underneath. Okay. Damn, that is nice. Drain. Fill. Oh yeah. Alright. Figured it out. Alright, I got my drain hose routing figured out. I had to cut it this way. I shouldn't have done that, but it's okay. I can very easily box in the floor underneath. I already came up with the game plan for that. The hose is going to go this direction to clear the gray tank, and the tank actually fits really good, so I'm pretty pleased about that. I was concerned I wouldn't be able to get it in there with that fuel filler, but it just barely clears. It's a tight fit, but it'll work. And I figured out exactly how to position the gray tank where I can access the top large hole to fill it and have the bottom easily accessible to put a drain on it. So now what I can do, because I can do all of this from underneath now, so I can actually permanently install this shower pan. And the next thing to do is figure out, I have to build little walls around these two corners of it to basically just give it a framework to, you know, live in. And had I known that this was going to have this edge and not a finished edge that I can step into, I would have maybe built my cabinet out a little further so it would all line up nicely. But I think I can figure out a way to make it look at least halfway decent. Alright, so I've been kind of playing around with the materials that I got. And right here, I've got this aluminum cap stuff. It's like a U shape. And it's narrower. I have 3/4 and then I have this, which I think is just 1/4. But it actually is perfect if I take some panel, which I'm considering using the ceiling material here, so it might just look nicer. But I can take some panel and this and have it fit over the lip of the shower pan. And it's like a tight, nice, perfect fit. And that can be my front wall, and this will give it some rigidity, and that can just be the kind of threshold. And by using this, a thin material, it won't stick out like really any further than the cabinet. So that's my plan. I was going to use the thicker stuff that I got, the 3/4, and then do an actual piece of plywood here. I also have that, what do you call it, masonite white tile board stuff, but it's not any more waterproof than this. Masonite actually swells up when it's wet. So I think the ceiling material, because it's just birch, would be a good finish for this. So I got the outer figured out, and really all I need to support is the bottom of this. So I could just build like a frame around the floor with some like 1x or 2x2 or something around the perimeter of the exposed two sides. So what I'll do is stick this on here upside down and then Sharpie around it. That can give me like a pretty good idea of where to put my supports on the floor. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm putting carpet tape on it, and I'm almost out. I gotta buy more because I still have to do the cab floor. But the idea here is it'll keep the foam from squeaking, in theory, because if it can't move around, it won't squeak, you know. I need a new blade. My very first road trip video I made 4 years ago in my Buick. When I went to edit that video, I realized that the door panel squeaks. Well, it did. I fixed it. But it was extremely annoying. So normally if you have something squeaky in your van, you just crank up the stereo. But if you're trying to make YouTube videos, it's good to try and eliminate as many of those noises as possible. All right, well, what I'm gonna do now is screw this flange to the surrounding walls, and then the plastic wall is gonna go over this flange. And that's how these are designed. So you put your tile or your wall board over the flange so water can't get in there. With the plastic wall being as thin as it is, you will see a little bump, but I couldn't find like a good looking tile board anywhere. I mentioned that when I was doing the backsplash for my kitchen, but I think the plastic wall is going to be the best solution. It'll match the shower pan because it's this material, and it'll look fine. I'm sure they make some sort of RV shower surround, but it's not practical for what I'm doing here. And then for this stuff, I decided to cut it where the lines are going to be vertical. I just thought it would look kind of cool that way. I don't know. What do you think? Can you even see that? It gives it kind of a retro-ish look, I suppose. And yeah, it is a different color of wood than the cabinet face, but that's okay. I'll have the corner trim for the cabinet right here, and then I'm going to trim it so it overlays this seam. You won't see this seam at all. And then down here I'm going to have quarter round the entire length, because now that I set it up where with this panel, these are the exact same, they're flush with each other, so it's going to look really good now having a like continuous piece, even though it's different material. But I was worried that it would stick out further and look dumb, but it won't. It's going to be pretty sweet. And then I got a side for over there. I'll have my aluminum trim on the top, and then I'll put a piece of aluminum corner right here. I have some extra of that from going around the stove. So off camera just now, I spent like almost 20 minutes just custom fitting this piece, deburring and filing the edges so it will not cut the plastic of the shower pan, because the corner is kind of rounded on this, just the way that it's made. It's like injection molded or whatever. And I 45'd this corner, so I got it pretty much perfect. And it's a nice tight fit. I thought about getting some like power grab inside there, but it is such a tight fit. I don't think I'm gonna need any sealant or anything on it. And the shower curtain's gonna go in the pan, you know. There, that's pretty good. It's a lot thinner and like sharper of an edge than if the shower pan came the way it was supposed to, with a nice smooth entry. But it's very sturdy and it will protect the pan, and it looks pretty good. It's an attractive finish. I will clean this up with some like acetone and a rag or something, just to get the aluminum looking nice. I put the corner on with power grab, and after it cures, I'm going to touch up this bit with the silver paint marker. So now it's time to cut some plastic wall. I went to Menards, and I went out on a whim and bought the Power Grab tub surround kit, which is just 3 tubes of adhesive and 1 tube of caulk. It was like 25 bucks. I was gonna get like actual real silicone, which would look a lot better, but This may be a terrible idea cosmetically, and I'll find out the hard way, but I went ahead and put butyl tape along the lip of the shower pan, which I think will help kind of soften the bumps from the screw heads. And then I put a second row, thinking that would kind of ease the transition, make it less abrupt from the wall to that. So, and then above that, I'm putting, you know, the tub surround adhesive, the Power Grab stuff. And I'm going to put that on now with the, and I'm going to use the spreader. That way there's, it's because the material's so thin that I'm about to use here that I want it to not have just bumps and lines and waves and shit in it. So we'll see what happens. This is kind of me experimenting with things. All right, that turned out pretty much exactly how I expected it to. And it's actually not bad. I'm gonna caulk with this. It's nothing special. Silicone is a brighter white and shinier and would look nicer. But this will be good enough. And then I'm gonna kind of spend the rest of the night trimming all of this out, putting that corner bead back on, cutting some cord around, get it stained, and a coat of poly on it. It's 11:30, so I will probably just pick up with you in the morning, show you what it looks like, all caulked and finished, and then we'll start installing fun things all our fixtures and stuff. Good morning. It's Sunday. I spent the night here because I live in my van. And I got the shower area done. And it looks good. Would you look at that? Just don't look at that. Right now I'm waiting on some poly to dry on these 2 pieces of quarter round that I cut for the floor. So I'm going to start by mounting the shower head. I'm just going to center it right here. This one I just picked it from Amazon, and I don't know why I picked this one. I just like the way it looks, and for some reason the brand of it was just inspiring. Awesome your life. But it's got a swivel hangy-do, and then this thing that just peel and sticks on. So I think that's what I'm going to do for now, and then when it falls off one day I'll put screws in it. But I'm just going to find center and then kind of hold it up here, get it as high as it'll pretty much go, which ain't much, and just mount it that way. It's got a posi-do on it for saving water. And the hose. Yeah, this is like super cheap. That's okay. That's how I like it. It's not gonna stress me out when it breaks and I gotta replace it. There we go. I'll just have it about there-ish. Yeah. And now my little pen line will be here for all eternity. Okay. And then this should just clip on. Yep. Sweet. It's starting to look like a shower now. So now we have this little hose hangy-do. I'm gonna wait to install that till after I install the faucet, because I got to figure out where that's gonna be. Well, obviously centered and somewhere around here, but I have to get the tubing put on it first. And then I also want to get a 3M sticky on shower caddy thing, and I've been shopping for them, and the one that would be ideal just looks like it wouldn't be great for an RV. The stuff can still fall out of it, and all the other real good looking ones are meant to hang from the shower head. So I'm gonna get on Amazon, and probably that'll be a later this week thing. But I do want to have a little shower caddy so I can just keep all my body wash, shampoo, whatever here in the shower. I might put it over here, actually, behind the curtain. The next thing I'm gonna do is I have this mirror that I'm gonna hang right here on the side of the cabinet. This is gonna be a really small, tight little shower area, you know. It's form over function over form. It's, you know, it's not a luxurious affair, but you know, it's gonna give me the ability to wash myself in my van. So I'm gonna go grab that mirror and show it to you. All right, so this thing here is a little makeup mirror, you know, so I can do my makeup here in the van. But it's got a rechargeable, like USB little battery in it with a light. But it's just a mirror on a stick, on a swing arm. And the idea is to mount it to the side of the cabinet right here. And then I can swing it over this way and kind of right here over the sink I can shave or do whatever. Pop zits, you know, the usual. It's got normal and then like super zoom frickin' mode. Probably never used that. Oh, hey, look at that. Ooh, yeah. It's got cold, warm, normal. Yep, I like it. And then it's a USB-C. So I can swing it over and then plug it in right there whenever it dies. If I even use the light on it ever. But I was gonna just mount a flat mirror to the wall back there in the shower, but I don't know, it would just always get dirty, and this seemed like a cooler option. So I'm gonna hang this up on the cabinet and then I'll show you. I did a cabinet screw in the bottom, and then on the top I did a 832 with the nut and washer on the back. So I'm not like scraping my hand every time I get in my cabinet. Also, I showed you guys that USB coffee grinder that I bought. It's a piece of crap. I ended up buying a hand crank one. I mean, it worked, but you had to charge it every single time you used it. Like the battery was only good enough for one cup of coffee, or one grind at a time. So, mirror is done. Sweet. It's Tuesday night. Here's my dilemma. So what I'm trying to do is mount this faucet flush with the wall. And I don't want to cut out my wall because I didn't design it that way. I was going to have my plumbing exposed. And I'm pretty sure there's a wall stud right there too. But the way this faucet is, like I showed earlier in the video, even with this trim ring that I bought, it's pretty much set up where you have to run your plumbing in from the wall. And I think that might just be for like an actual shower surround maybe or something. But my walls are only 1.5 inches thick on the inside of the plywood that the van box is made with. So what I was doing is I was trying to figure out a way to run the tubing up the bottom of this trim thing, basically poke a couple holes in here, and then get some elbows on the back. And I was gonna go to the plumbing store and try to find this elbow, but FIP, this is MIP, male. I needed a female with the 1/2 inch barb on it. And I came to the shop earlier today to grab this and that and take it down to the plumbing store. And my friend, the carpet guy, was here, and I was explaining to him what I was up to. And he goes, "Oh, dude, here." He happened to have these that he bought like from Amazon or something for his camper. And these are pretty much exactly what I need, except they're made for poly, like PEX, polyethylene. So they have a slightly different barb on them. So this is for vinyl tubing, and it's kind of like conical shaped with the barbs sort of bite onto the tube as you stick it on, and it's really hard to push that vinyl tubing onto these. And then these are more of a just like a ring shank kind of thing where you put the polyethylene over it and then just clamp it on. So I took all of this stuff to the plumbing store after that and explained to them, like, hey, I'm pretty much looking for this, but for vinyl tubing. And the guys at the plumbing store were like, oh, you're fine, dude. Just clamp your tubing onto that. It'll hold up just fine. I'm like, are you sure? They're like, oh yeah, don't even worry about it. It'll hold just as tight as the stuff that's made for vinyl. They're like, there's all kinds of funky crap going on in RVs all the time, and that'll work. So that I'm gonna go with these, but the plan is to basically hack the back of this faucet off so these will fit further inside this box so I don't have to cut out my wall. But even if I did that, they still kind of stick out just a little bit. So what I'm gonna have to do is basically cut up my faucet and cut up my wall. And before I figured out that I'll have to do both, I was thinking to myself, what would be less bad? Just cut up the faucet, and if I ruin it and I can't get a good seal, or I can't get them to thread back on, well then I'm out like 16 bucks or whatever this faucet cost. If I cut up my wall and ruin that sheet of plastic wall was 20 bucks. So I mean, it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But now I have to do both, basically, which is what I'm gonna do here now. And I have like 4 hacksaws, and none of them are here at the shop. And earlier today I was like, make sure you remember to bring a hacksaw to the shop, and I didn't. So I think I'm gonna use my Dremel with that little cutting wheel and cut these down as far as I can. They only thread on with this fitting, just a little ways. Another thing I was gonna try and attempt to do is just use supply lines and then dig out the wall enough where I could put like a loop on it and then have these poke out underneath and then connect to the tubing. But that would look pretty terrible. I mean, either way, you're gonna see plumbing exposed. I'm gonna have 2 tubes, 2 pieces of hose coming up to the shower faucet and then over to my cabinet. kind of a tight fit. This might not last. We'll see. final task is to mount this curtain track. And I'm not sure if it's even gonna work. I gotta mount it to the ceiling. There's several obstacles in the way, and the front of the box, being that it's curved like that, there's really nothing to mount it to unless I come in a few inches, which would make my shower even tinier. So I might have to get creative with that and figure out a way to like extend the ceiling material off of that front roof support to give this something to mount to. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna play around with it. Comes with hardware, lots of it. I'm gonna read the instructions, kind of try and figure it out, and see if my shower curtain is even gonna fit right. I think I got, it's 70 wide by 72 length, so it should be the perfect size to hang from the ceiling and have it just kind of tuck inside the shower pan just right. All right, it's got 9 ceiling clips that you just screw on, and then the track snaps into them, and then 2 end caps and a whole bunch of rollers. The track is like posable because there's a metal strip inside of it. So I'm gonna start with trying to get the rough shape of it figured out. I'm gonna try to make it the full 24. Basically, it's gonna come out to here. This light will end up being inside the shower. That's okay, not too worried about it. All right, it looks kind of weird, but I did this on purpose. I maximized the space and made it as wide as possible. And I think it's gonna work. All the things go all the way around. I counted how many holes are in the shower curtain. This end cap has a hole too, so that counts as one. I'm gonna go get the little hooky doos. I might need some different hooky doos since it's a shower curtain, but I was just really struggling with how to get it in this little area here because there's nothing to support it with. And I figured out I can just kind of have the track be bendy and just have these 2 brackets here, and they're secured real good. And then I just I got them all the way around. So it's not like the most perfect shape, but it's like the most functional. It's gonna work really good. And the bucket and the broom mount, you know, that I'm maximizing the use of this area. So when I'm showering, obviously I'll remove the bucket and the litter box and everything else that's gonna go in this little area here. So now I'm gonna put the curtain on and see if it actually works. This track is actually pretty cool. I like it. For my first time ever doing this, it wasn't too terribly hard to figure out. If you were using this like as intended, like mounting it to the ceiling of a regular house or something, it'd be a lot easier. And I ended up putting 3M mounting tape on the back side of all the brackets, just to give it that extra little bit of stay putness, you know. Yeah, I don't see these hooks being very good. I could get like key rings or something, maybe. Something else a little better. We'll see how it holds up though. Maybe if I pinch these shut with my pliers, it might work a little better. Like after I'm done here. Hey, I got a shower. And there's actually plenty of room in here. I fit. That's cool. We're done.
It sound right, boys.
All right, the shower turned out pretty good. It is completely functional. I say that without having actually used it or tested my plumbing yet. I was hoping to get the gray tank installed in this video, but there was no way. I set my sights way too high. That will be probably the next video. And I'll show you how I fixed that butchery I did to the floor of the van. It's not that big of a deal. I got it figured out already. That curtain track worked out pretty well. I don't know how well it's gonna hold up over time, but there's not like weight on it. It's just a shower curtain. So as long as it stays up on the ceiling, I'm not totally confident that the connections on that faucet are gonna last. There's quite a bit of tension on that. And the nuts that hold it on are just plastic. So we'll see. If they break, I'll fix them. No big deal. The shower faucet's 4 screws to remove it, cut the caulk, fix it. No big deal. I'm really happy with how the shower pan turned out. Working with what I had and making a little like base around it. It looks good. I like the way it looks. It just adds a little bit more character to the van. And this space, I'm just totally maximizing the use of this little 24 by 24 part of the van. It's Kitty's litter box, it's the shower, it's the bathroom. I keep my trash bucket there / other purposes for that bucket, obviously. Hung my little dustpan and broom there. I got a folding little swing arm mirror with a light on it. Other than the gray tank, the plumbing's pretty much done. As soon as I get that installed I got a skid plate that my buddy Tom is gonna let me hack up off like an ATV or something, like an aluminum skid plate to go underneath that, and that's how I'll mount the tank. And then I also have that tank heater and then I'm gonna just plumb it up and run a little drain off the side. And so yeah, after the gray tank's done and I get the plumbing tested, I'm not totally sure what the next video is gonna be, but it's most likely gonna be the cab, because I have been working on that actually. I've been filming some progress on the cab, so which might end up being a two-part video because there's things I want to do, but I don't really have the money for it yet. I'm not asking for a handout. I do appreciate all of you guys. There were some very generous donations last week from the thanks button, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And also thank you to Callie, Matthew, and Doug for joining my Patreon this week. I really appreciate that. I said it in the last video, I think. I mentioned it. I am training my replacement at work. I do still have a job, and I've been offered to continue working full-time or part-time, depending on what I want to do and what my job can offer me. So, but I am going to be taking a couple of weeks off soon to just focus on getting this van done and making YouTube videos, and I'm really looking forward to that. I am like super burnt out at this point. It's been a struggle for the last couple months, but we're so close. I've been living in this van for over a month now, and I love it. Feels like home. I'm totally used to it. Kitty's used to it too. She likes it. She loves going out to the yard all the time. So when she has energy, like she needs to get out of the van and go outside. But otherwise, she loves it. She's totally used to it in here too. I haven't taken her anywhere yet in the van, and I will be doing that eventually. But for now, it's just van in the driveway. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you in the next video.